Alright, welcome everyone. We're casting Heroic Division tonight between Brawl is Life and Team Ripers, and I have Coffee Club TV here to join me to co-cast. How are you doing tonight, Coffee?
I'm doing great. It's been a really good day for a number of reasons, but I'm very excited to cast some Heroic Division with you, Jazzy.
I am pumped. Let's get into these map selections because these teams are ready to get into this game here. So we'll give you a quick rundown of what map we're going to, what maps have been banned out, who won the coin toss, and what's going on here. Coin toss was won by Brawl is Life. They've opted to go with first pick here, giving map pick over to the side of Team Ripers. Now we do have Battlefield of Eternity and Hanamura Temple banned out by Brawl is Life. Team Ripers opting to get rid of Towers of Doom and Cursed Hollow. They are bringing us to Dragonshire for game number 1 of the evening. This is a map we don't get to see too often, and I'm really excited to see how these teams play it.
Yeah, me too. I feel like I've been seeing a ton of Brightwing lately, and I feel like she's right at home here. So we'll see how that works out.
All right, game's going to be starting up in a few short seconds here. Can get on into this draft. Now, I'm not overly familiar with all of these players' preferences and hero pools, but is there anything you're expecting to see banned out or picked up besides the Brightwing?
Yeah, the only other thing I was gonna say, Rexar is super annoying, holding the lane or holding the cap point with Misha. But the only other thing I would expect to see prioritized here in the bans is possibly ETC, or maybe an early pick, just because of the global potential. And he's also just, I feel like, one of the strongest tanks right now.
It's going to be the Rexar band coming out from the side of Brawl is Life to kick the night off, followed up by the Jazzalene band being taken away by Team Ripers. I'm not too surprised with those bans here. Jazzalene has been pretty prominent lately, and Rexar on a map like Dragonshire is a pretty typical ban.
Yep, and correct me if I'm wrong, you play a bit of Rexar, don't you, Jazzy? You know all about that power on this map.
Yeah, definitely went through a Rexar phase for quite a while.
Cassia to follow that up, also just super strong hero right now, especially at these high levels of play. Cassia can just be devastating.
Yeah, even with the nerfs that we've seen in the last few patches, she's still sticking around and seems to be a very popular pickup these days. Which I love, because I used to play a ton of Cassie, and then she just fell out of the meta for so long.
Yeah, I think she's exciting to play, and she's like one of those heroes where I feel like the skill cap is so high because you always have to be moving on her to get the most value. And watching a really talented player play her is super exciting. And it does look like Hanzo is going to be the second ban coming out from Team Ripers.
Yeah, so maybe a target ban here. We don't typically see Hanzo as a priority ban in the meta right now. But Hanzo, one of those heroes that, you know, higher level players tend to really shine on. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was a target ban onto one of the members of Brawl is Life.
Yeah. Imperius is going to get picked up first here by Brawl is Life. Super strong, obviously, for a number of reasons. We've seen a lot of Imperius lately. The question is that going to be their main tank, or is he going to be an offlaner?
Yeah, I'm curious to find out as well. We've seen a lot of main tank Imperius being run lately. And I don't like the thing with Imperius is he's kind of lacking in the wave clear, so I'm not sure how well he would do in the solo lane in this situation.
Yeah, that's true. He really does just kind of struggle, I feel like, in the off lane, and we only see him as the main tank these days.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I saw him just solo laning, doing his thing. But I mean, he can win the matchups a lot of the time, and that's what you need to do here on Dragonshire. It's not as much about soaking the lane as it is being able to win the 1v1.
So Team Ripers is going to go with the Ana Orphea, kind of a cool, good nano boost target there in Orphea, and Brawl is Life going to follow it up with the Tassadar. the Tyrande, and I'm not surprised to see the Tyrande because I think Tyrande and the Imperious like is such a really good combo together with I mean just the synergy that those two heroes bring together is pretty strong.
Yeah, definitely can work very well together. I've seen it paired with the Anna as well, but you can essentially pull the same thing off with her Hunter's Mark and a stun instead of a sleep and a biotic grenade.
Yeah, so far it looks super blow up comp on the side of Brawl's life. They're gonna try to get a kill quick with what they're trying to do here.
It's going to be the Diablo ban coming out from the side of Brawl is life. I'm not too surprised here. We're going to see a tank ban. They don't have their tank picked up yet. And Diablo, definitely one of the more meta tanks we're seeing these days and can be a pain in the butt fighting over these shrines.
Yeah, this is one of his maps, I feel like, where he does bring a lot of value. And there's the ETC. Team Riper's going to go with the ETC there, and that's a Tychus to follow it up.
You can see a lot more Tychus these days now that he had his buffs come through in the last couple of patches here. So it's kind of exciting because that's another hero like Cassia that we haven't seen around in the meta for quite a while now. And it's nice to have some changes and see him being played a lot more often.
Yeah, it is, and it's scary too as a tank player.
I was just gonna say, I'm sure tank players don't feel the same way about that, but
exactly. Drunk Dwarf is gonna pick up the Urel, and Deathstrike's gonna grab the Rainer, Silver, grabbing the Malthael to round out the team comp.
That is a lot of percent damage over there.
It is, and I mean, Imperious and Urel have high health pools, but they're
not true
lower.
Tanks.
Yeah, they're not true tanks, right? So we'll see how that plays out.
So I imagine we're going to see Urel up in the off lane facing off against Melthiel, which is always a toss-up. That one can kind of come down to skill on who wins that one. Especially before level 10s and you don't have your last rites on Melthiel.
Right. And I'm just excited to see this Brawler's life make this Tyrande Imperious comp work. I mean, regardless, it's going to be exciting to watch, I think. Yeah,
I agree. And it's always fun watching heroic division games because they tend to come out with these big wombo combos and really good draft synergy with their comps. So we might see like an ETC Mosh or Fia Eternal Feast with a nano boost on top of it on the side of Team Ripers as well, which could be also just as exciting.
Well, what you're describing makes me wonder if Malthael even goes last rites, that kind of wombo combo. I think there's potential. He could go the other ultimate with the nano boosted Ana, Ana nano boosting him and just living forever in their back line.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can't disregard the nano boosted Malthael potential. It's very, very scary. I'm just thinking, how often is he going to be with the team or off doing his own thing in the top lane? Yep. I think if he's looking just to win the 1v1 and he expects to spend the majority of the team doing that doing that up there, I would think he'd see last rites. But then again, Ardent Defender can
3, 2, 1
kind of counter that.
Real quickly, on the right-hand side, we have Team Ripers. We have JP on the ETC, LF Nenial on the Orphea, Ades on the Tychus, Silver on the Malthael, and Hope on the Ana.
And on the side of Brawl is Life, we have Sweet Buns on the Imperious, Death Strikes playing the Rainer, Vivanchi on the Tyrande, Death by Maze on the Tazdar, and Drunk Dwarf playing the Urel.
I always struggle with the names, and I just pray that I'm getting these right. I know how important that is, but I do my best.
There's Sweet Buns going in for the stun there. Doesn't quite connect. Addis able to get out, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure on the names either.
The Gladiator's Medallion was popped on the side of Ades down there in the bottom lane to avoid that. And I think it's a good thing he did pop that because that was going to get ugly real fast with the blow potential of Brawl's life.
We do have those camps spawning in now here, so you might expect to see some teams going for those some pickups, but Sweet Bun's actually looking at Tychus here. Stun coming out from the Tyrande, but not able to secure the kill on the side of Brawl's life. Sweet Bun's getting quite low. Goes back in for the stun onto Orphea, but is he going to pay for this? Orphea dropping some damage out. He's trying to get some heals up, but it's not going to work out for him. They get first blood on the side of Team Ripers, but the entire team is in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and the whole time that was happening, Tassadar was hitting the Siege Giants over here. So they were down a man, and Team Ripers recognized that and secured that kill. And now it looks like Des is going to grab their Siege Giants.
So that kill puts them a little bit up on XP here. I just want to take a look at these level 1 talents. Yes, we do have Melthiel talenting into On a Pale Horse, so that's why we're going to see him kind of rotating down a lot more often, probably catching the soak in mid for his team and allowing Team Ripers just to sit in the bottom lane as a 4-man. At least when he doesn't need to control top. I mean, right now he's not... I don't expect him to be going too far since Brawl's life is holding on to bottom for now.
JP sliding out, walking right into a Rainer. Gonna have to back off here. Not a good siege bottom right now. It looks like Brawl's life is pushing this front wall.
And that power slide coming out from ETC. And this is looking a little dangerous for the Rainer here. Getting chased down by Orphea. She does manage to connect the Q there. Gets the pick, but not for free. Tychus goes down as well, leaving it as a 3v3 in this bottom lane.
Yeah, and the Siege Giants have already fallen on the side of Brawl's life. ETC, big slide coming out on Sweet Buns. Sweet Buns is low. Ana's also doing damage. Sweet Buns is going to fall ultimately, and Tyrande is next by the looks of things. Can she get out here? She does! And Nino almost falls as well. Hope just barely able to keep him up. Wow.
Wow, that was scary for that Orphea. Managing to back out. Ana healing him up, and now Rainer back for the fight. JP getting quite low, but Tychus chasing down the Tassadar here, forcing him to have to tap. Some heals coming out from Tyrande. This is a 4v3 in favor of Team Ripers for the moment here, as it does look like Imperius is on his way mid for any interrupts he needs there. Vivanchi getting caught out, though. We are going to see the Tyrande fall here.
I was just about to say how impressed I was with Tyrande, just the survivability in that fight down there. I mean, she was heavily targeted and made it out, but then a coordinated attack as 4 takes her down.
Tassadar getting power slid by the ETC here, shredded by the Tychus, and he is going to fall as well. It does seem that Brawl's life just getting their death staggered and picked off over and over again. Any opportunity that Team Ripers can find here to grab them in the bottom lane while they're down their tank.
Yeah, JP doing a really good job of recognizing when he needs to slide and secure a kill, and they are getting the kills off of that. So well done by the ETC player here.
Rainer did manage to cap that bottom shrine, but now there's a 4-man rotation coming out from here. The grenade being tossed by Tychus, knocking him back a little bit, enough to get some nice damage put onto him. He is going to have to tap here.
I think that penetrating round by Death Strikes onto the ETC saved him there. JP was just about to slide and secure that kill. But Brawl's life does control mid at the moment, even though...
Do have a gank attempt here on the top lane, though. They're looking to pick up Melthiel. Stun comes out from the Imperius. He's doing all he can to survive. They do get the pick, but in the bottom lane, Rainer getting picked off as well. So 1 for 1 ultimately.
It's a really brawly game so far. It's exciting to watch. More kills than I'm used to so far watching a Heroic Division game.
Yeah, for sure. Normally a lot of these games you get into, and it's very low deaths. ETC looking for this invade here, and he's going for it. Manages to get in there, knock them off the point, and steal this siege camp.
Why were they not capping it there?
I don't know if they're mounting to walk to it first. A little late.
So interesting.
They also
JP
have
really in control of what's happening here. He's sliding in on 3 people, gonna knock back Death Strike. He's low already. He's going to have to back out, but he's walking into Sweet Buns. Sweet Buns escaping as well here. Death Strikes might be in trouble. Ades and Nino on the chase. The Eternal Feast is out, but that's not going to finish him.
Yeah, that's a lot of ults there used by the side of Team Ripers, and we're now seeing Brawl's Life hit that level 10 as well. So right now they're still just sitting with Mosh up, and Malthael has yet to lock in his ultimate. We also saw the drill being picked by Tychus, as well as the Eternal Feast from the Orphea, and of course Nano Boost from Ana here. The level 10's on the side of Brawl's Life. Well, let's just wait and see what happens for a moment here, because it looks like they're going to go for the engage. Ana getting caught out by that Imperius and being chased down. Is she going to manage to live here? ETC coming in for the disengage. We do have the Imperius ult coming out, trying to secure that kill, but not quite able to find it there. It looks like Ana is out for now, and it's actually Tassadar that goes down as the team was so split here.
Wow. Ana getting away just with a hair of HP there. I don't know how exactly that worked out in the favor of Team Ripers, but it did somehow. It's crazy.
And just taking a look at those level 10s now on the side of Brawl's Life, we do see Tyrande going with Starfall. Imperius talenting into Angelic Armaments, Black Hole being picked up by Tassadar. That's another ult that we're seeing a lot more often on Tassadar over Archon. Then we have Rainer's Raider getting picked up by the Rainer, and Ardent Defender being grabbed by Yrel here.
If he finds Sweet Buns, Slide is going to be onto Sweet Buns here. Sweet Buns taking a lot of damage. Neniel's getting just messed up by Death Strikes in the back. Neniel 1 HP, but now Ana is the target. He's also going to walk away.
JP going in for that power slide onto Tassadar, but his team not quite able to follow up on that. The Black Hole comes out, and they are going to get the kill there. We are going to see the drill being dropped by Tychus, as well as Eternal Feast being used by the Orphea here. So again, all the ults except for Mosh down, but ETC dead for the moment.
Yeah, that was a good fight, and I think that is exactly what Brawler's Life needed to get back in this game.
Let's check out what's going on top here, as it looks like Tychus is going to go for a rotation onto the Yrel. Silver trying to kind of bait her out into a fight here, but it's not happening. Tychus going back down to mid. Needs to be a bit careful here on his rotation, because he is alone, and there was just 3 members there on the side of Brawler's Life. We do have level 13s hit now for Brawler's Life, so it's a little bit of an advantage for a second there, but now hit for Team Ripers as well. Power slide going out onto the Tassadar. Imperius going in for the stun kind of as a counter engage, and there's kind of a lot of damage being dumped back and forth, but ultimately Imperius getting picked off of Banshee, now being chased by the Orphea, but able to walk away here.
Yeah, that was a lot of ults out at one time. It was kind of hard to follow exactly what's going on, but the ETC Mosh was interrupted fairly quickly, but the damage was already done. And I am seeing the value of the Black Hole here. Super strong. Uh-oh.
Orphea's chasing down this Tassadar, and we have ETC invading that camp once again. Let me just zoom out a little bit more so we can keep an eye on both these fights going on here. ETC is going to be able to grab that siege camp once again, and the Dragon as well going over to the side of Team Ripers. This is the first Dragon of the game here. Looks like they're going to opt to siege mid a little bit.
Yeah, and ETC, Orphea, and Ana are going to take out this bottom well and possibly go for the fort here. We'll have to see. Slide does go out onto the Death Strikes, and he is going to fall. Nano Boost was used, I believe, on the Orphea there.
Yeah, ETC taking a lot of tower damage right now. Sweet Bun's trying to do what he can to keep him in that range, but he is able to get out. Stun going out onto Orphea, though, and that tower is focusing her. She's just barely able to get herself out of there and survive here. Meanwhile, Dragon's still sitting in the mid, trying to siege that up. Silver now here on the Melthiel to help push that in a bit.
Towers are just shredding.
Tass needs to be careful. He's so low. Oh, he pops him. His stealth to manage to avoid to get the kick from the Dragon, and now Tyke is stuck under the fort here. He is going to fall, overstaying his welcome in mid.
Des was hungry for that kill on the Tassadar and winds up in, a world of pain behind the fort as the Dragon explodes and falls. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, it got a little bit baited there by that Tassadar.
Good play.
It does look like both teams are opting to pick up their bruiser camps here. We do see Team Ripers grabbing theirs in the top, and over on the side of Brawler's Life, they're finishing up theirs as well.
Viper's just a little bit faster in their rotations, but also just their decisiveness of getting a camp, and they seem to be in control of the game for now, but just by a hair. It's still a super close game. Level 16s are being picked up by Brawl's Life.
Silver, though, looking like he might be in trouble here. Stun from the Tyrande coming out, and ultimately the whole team just kind of collapsing there, getting that pick onto him.
There you go.
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, we do have the Orphea Ana looking to cap that Bruiser camp, trying to find some value elsewhere on the map, as they know they are down that player now. And there's an invade onto the siege camp of Team Ripers by Brawl's Life, looking to grab those away as well.
Here comes Ana and Orphea rotating up here. They know this is happening. Uh-oh. ATC slides in, gets walled out by the Tassadar, and he's going to fall. Sweepun's now the target, though.
And look at this Tychus in the back line just shredding the Raynor. Ultimately, Raynor able to get out of there, but a lot of damage traded back and forth. We are going to see that ETC fall, and now Brawl's Life doing a good job of staggering the deaths of Team Ripers here.
Such a good Tassadar wall right there. As soon as the ETC slid in, he knew what he needed to do, and a really great pickup.
Now, both these teams kind of scary to fight in these chokes over these siege camps. Between Eternal Feast, the Drill, a Mosh on the side of Team Ripers, but don't forget the Tassadar has a Black Hole, there's Starfall, and the Force Walls from Tassadar to really mess up anything that goes down in there.
Wow, just the confidence of Brawl's Life to know what, that Tassadar doesn't need to run there. He can just stand his ground and hit the Tychus back. It's pretty cool. JP just making sure that mid is secure here while the rest of Team Ripers pushes bottom.
They are going to pick up their siege camp here. Maybe look to secure this bottom shrine now. Power slide going out onto Sweet Buns. Orphea trying to get some damage out there, but misses her Q. And JP looking like he might be in a little bit of trouble, but able to back out for now.
Yeah, he was able to get on the correct side of the wall this time and dodge the spear from Imperius, so JP is not trying to let that happen again.
Here comes Sweet Buns again. He's looking for that pick. That Unstoppable was used on Orphea. She thought she was going to get stunned by the Imperius here and popped her Gladiator's Medallion, so that's down now. And there we go. There's the Q coming out from Imperius. It does not connect. They know that that's their gameplay. And without that, there's not much they can do. They already tried to start to walk away, but JP going in for the engage. Black Hole coming out from Tassadar, and JP is getting shredded. Ana managing to heal him up for now. He pops that Gladiator's Medallion, looking to make his way out. Orphea on the chase for this Raynor, but Tyrande keeping everybody alive. Eternal Feast coming out. Is she going to manage to get the pill here? And that is going to be Imperius falling, and here's the Mosh coming out from ETC. You have Starfall coming out from the Tyrande to try and get some damage out, get some counter kills on their side, but it's not working out for them here. This is a 2-0 in favor of Team Ripers. That Dragon up and available to take now.
Yeah, and Neo and Ades have to be careful here because Tyrande can pick them off with Owl. She's doing a lot of damage with her Owl at this point in the game. Uh-oh.
All right, Tyrande was able to get out of there. We did see ETC is kind of posturing in that bush, hoping to maybe get on the flank there.
Yes, it does appear like this is going to be Dragon going over to the side of Team Ripers.
The Dragon Knight shall reduce you to cinders.
So they're going to finish off mid, and I would like to see them push mid wall, maybe bottom wall here. Okay, they're going to go bottom wall.
I mean, structurally, this game very much favoring Team Ripers, but in terms of XP, you do see Brawl's Life is keeping up. There's a chance for them to still come around. You win those fights at level 20 or past 20 when death timers are long enough, that's enough of a window just to go straight core without having to worry about objectives.
Yep, and it seems like that's exactly what their team comp is designed for. Those quick engages, getting picks. Their level 20 could be quite strong here. Silver has rotated down and is ready to step up if Brawl's Life comes out a little too far.
Yeah, I just want to note, too, the Malthael did end up talenting into Last Rites, and we have yet to see him get any stacks on that, so I'm not expecting the upgrade at level 20 here.
His strength was never yours to keep.
Okay. They have vision of Silver now, though. They don't know that Drunkdorf is behind them. A huge mosh pit coming out with the Eternal Feast. Drunkdorf is behind them on Hope. Silver getting awfully low here. Gonna fall. Drunkdorf just slamming into the back line. On the chase, going for sweep buns.
One for one for so
just
far.
going in. A super close team fight. Ultimately, ETC is going to fall next, but sweep buns to follow. Rainer going to fall next. Really massive team fight, but ultimately going to be a 3-2 going over to Team Ripers. And they're going to pick up the siege camp as a reward for that team fight.
All right, 3 for 2 there in that fight in favor of Team Ripers. We are going to see them start to paint the map red here. They grab the siege camp from Brawl's Life. Now going for that neutral bruiser camp while Brawl's Life finishes up the bruiser camp in the top lane on their side of the map.
So what do you think decided that fight there, Jazz? What went wrong for Brawl's Life?
You know, it's difficult to play a Imperious comp because it very much relies on you getting that pick off the Imperious, and once that happens, hopefully you can win the 4v5 afterwards. But a lot of your kill potential and team fight comes from just getting that isolated pick from Imperious. So when that's down, there's this window where it's a little bit harder for Brawl's Life to win the fight, and that's when Team Ripers kind of started to turn it around there. You also had the Orphea kind of sitting on the flank a little bit and just getting a lot of damage out for free and getting away with that as well in that fight.
Yeah, I feel like the longer the fight goes, the Orphea just starts to pop off. And even though Brawl's Life had, I thought, the better positioning there with the Yrel behind Team Ripers.
Well, this is interesting here. We don't have Melthiel with his team here. Brawl's Life all hanging around this little Dorito looking to catch someone. They are now a bit split, though. Tacit are not quite joining the team here, and Melthiel has now made his way down here. Here comes a stun out onto the ETC Eternal Feast used by the Orphea, and that's a couple ults down now. Actually, just the one ult down, the Eternal Feast.
Yeah, it's interesting that the Tacit is using the black holes really to secure the kill. I mean, it's essentially an all-out stun comp. A teleport and then a slide from ETC, but now he's in a world of pain. This is a massive team fight here. Yrel just absorbing all the damage here. Silver in the back line, gonna fall first. ETC falls second. Niniel doing what she can here. Staying alive, doing as much damage as possible. Just getting healed up by this Ana. So much damage, but ultimately gonna fall as well. And now Ana and Ades gonna have to back out here. But what a team fight, Jesse. Crap.
Yeah, Melthiel was in that back line for so long trying to 1v4 there, and didn't work out for him. Ended up being a 3-for-1 in favor of Brawl's Life here. They're now making the rotations to cap these shrines and hopefully look to get a dragon, their first dragon of the game. Tychus and Ana need to be a bit careful on this rotation here.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're not getting much value out of the last rites, ultimately.
Well, he hasn't finished his quest yet.
Yeah. Do have a pause coming out by Brawl's Life. Oh, it looks like Hope disconnected.
All right, looking to get that sorted in just a moment here. I think we're going to have to unpause if both teams are ready.
Oh, okay.
I think they set us as refs.
I'll do the countdown.
Oh, hang on. Brawl's Life isn't ready.
Oh. Not our. Oh, wow. He just got up immediately and went to get water.
That guy was ready for a pause. Yeah.
He lost the player to dehydration. It's hard out there in the Nexus. We got some thirsty players. Yeah, it was such a good engage from the ET there. I think almost went a little too far into the back line. The Bolt of the Storm got him in there, He
Yeah,
slid in and moshed immediately, but I think he
he
just went a
could have.
little too far over 2 players, right? And he didn't get
Oh, you're
the stun on
totally
them.
right. I think that he could have probably just bolted in and moshed right
And just
away, and he would have
moshed.
caught
Yeah,
more people.
exactly. Yep.
I
And it would have
love,
been a totally different team fight too if he had gotten them in the stun, I think. So
yeah, I love ETC because of his level 20. He becomes a totally different play style at level 20 if he takes Bolt of the Storm or
Deathmarsh.
Deathmosh or his
Was it the
tour
tour
bus.
bus? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, talk about
All
level
right,
20.
we can do the
Okay, here we go.
countdown.
Good. And we come right back to Brawl is Life, grabbing a dragon.
Yeah, first dragon of the game here. Does look like they're eyeing mid for the moment just to get a wave, and now they're going to go to bottom lane, which I love this call because right now they're down their bottom fort. There's a huge wave crashing behind them. So if they can kind of get this opened up, at least they'll have those periodic katas matched with Team Ripers. And hopefully they can even grab a keep here, which means that they'll have katas spawning every wave with their minions.
Blue team has destroyed a
Yeah, it looks like Urel had to back there because the Katas were actually wrecking this bottom keep. But Urel is going to mount up and join his teammates here as they push the opposing bottom keep.
That was a great play by the Tychus there. I'm not sure if you saw that, but he stepped out enough to bait the kick. And hang on a second, we have that Tassadar just getting absolutely decimated here. Gets deleted by that Orpheus. The Eternal Feast still popping off here. Sweet Buns also getting picked off here. JP looking in a bit of trouble, but for now, 2 members down on the side of Brawl's Life. Not as much value as they were hoping out of this dragon, and the chase is on, trying to get more picks here. ETC going up through the siege camp, looking to try and catch them on the flank, but they've mounted up and are out of there.
That was wild to see. Normally, I wait. I don't see teams engage the opposing team until they've killed the dragon or have the dragon, low. And it felt like they engaged with the dragon quite healthy and just annihilated it and just pressed on to the enemy team.
Here's the thing that happened. Tychus baited the kick from the dragon. So at that point, what's the dragon going to do? Breathe fire on you? You're not going to disrupt the team. So they baited the kick out. He ran behind the wall so that the dragon couldn't do anything. And then immediately, the rest of the team went for the engage.
Wow. And now they're pressing on towards the keep. And I don't know if they can do this. They don't have the best siege.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
they are going to have to back out here.
And members of Brawl of Life also spawning into the game here. Last one up and coming up right now. But really, it was a tiny little play there by Team Ripers that was actually key to making that work there. And it was really impressive, really. Like, it was a little thing, but it was such a big thing to turn it there.
Turn the whole thing, yeah. That's a play by, I think it's pronounced ADS, but it could be ADS. I'm not sure.
Another chance to prove yourself worthy. Do not squander it.
So Brawl's Life is going to have to clear a little bit here. They're going to have to head bottom. Ripers is picking up their siege. And they're probably going to grab their other camp here as well. But it's still anyone's game. I mean, we're going to make it to another shrine phase here. Brawl's Life, we have seen them have very strong team fights.
Bruiser camp now capped by Team Ripers. Kind of counter push the Bruiser camp of Brawl's Life in the top lane, and we are going to see them pick up the bottom shrine here. Tassar looking like he's going to stop mid to clear that, and Malthael is going top to clear the Bruiser camp that Brawl's Life has sent up there.
Just hanging out in the Dorito, waiting for Ripers to make a mistake. They do see them all bottom here. They're going to try to engage by the looks of things, but JP's knocking them back. Sweet Buns misses the spear. JP gonna have to slide out. Oh, I must have not seen the spear, but the spear does connect, but ultimately JP walks away. I don't know what I saw there. It looked like JP speared earlier, but maybe he just got knocked.
Yeah, maybe the animation started, but it was interrupted.
Okay. Does look like we're gonna see a 5v5 bottom here. There's a camp pushing top, but I think it's too late to deal with that. JP taking a little bit of damage. Ana trying for the sleep dart, misses. Sweet Buns looking for the engage. No, he's gonna chill. Oh, he's gonna go in right now.
This is so much dancing back and forth, just trying to figure out who's out of position, who can we collapse onto, because both these teams trying to go in. And there's JP going in for the power slide, and the wall, sports wall from Tastar coming out. JP looking like in a little bit of trouble. He does Bolt of the Storm in there, but Black Hole immediately interrupts his Mosh attempt. Imperious goes down here, though. Orphea in the back line with that nano boost on her, looking to try and get the Tyrande picked off, but she's going to fall here as well. Drunk Dwarf just kind of knocking everyone around, keeping them, and look at this wall, zoning the entire rest of the team out. We do have Drunk Dwarf. He did pop that Ardent Defender, and unfortunately, the Force Wall kind of negated any damage he would have taken to heal there.
It's still just a 1-for-1, but there is a camp pushing top right now. And it looks like Riper's is going to re-engage, knowing that Yrel had to leave.
Yeah, a little scary here for them. They do have that camp, like you said, to go clear up top as well.
Oh, wow.
It's going down here, though, but they still have that wave pressure from the minions to grab. Siege camp being invaded.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Tassadar.
Slide going on to Tassadar. Death by Maze in a world of pain right now, but gonna just barely make it out. I love that Tassadar talent to go invisible and gain armor. Really helped
yeah,
a lot here.
That one's not as frequently picked on Tassadar, so it's nice to see him getting some good value out of it this game.
Yeah, I think Tassadar just has a tendency to be really squishy as he has to stand still for a lot of abilities, and I think that talent is super critical in keeping him keeping his survivability pretty high.
Nice sweep buns going in for the stun there. Doesn't quite connect. ETC able to knock him back. And Mouth Yell capping that top shrine. Oh, wait. He was on it and then he left.
He recognizes that he should come. I think they thought there was going to be a team fight there.
Yeah.
He's going to end up going back top.
He doesn't know what he wants to do.
Doesn't know. He's so fast, right?
He does have that on a pale horse, so he's got that speedy mount to bring him wherever he needs to be. And now we've seen Brawler's Life set up this gank rotation here in the little Dorito, and this time is going to be Team Ripers looking to get the pick on rotation. But Brawler's Life not even thinking about heading that direction right now. They're actually going to be grabbing the Bruiser camp. Team Ripers going for more of a flank position here. Let's see how this plays out, because if they walk into these bushes face check, it's a very dangerous situation. But the Owl comes out.
Yeah, Tyrande doing a great job of scouting that out. None of those Bojangling shenanigans.
Tassadar is taking off to go clear up some waves in the mid here. This is just like both teams are trying to find the best opportunity and waiting for the other one to make a mistake to find these fights, and it's just not happening.
Yeah, and I think Ripers has the right idea now. They're being super patient. They ultimately, I think, don't want to try to engage as hard as they are, because that's the strength of the comp that Brawler's Life chose. And when ETC slides in and gets walled, that's when things start to get a little hairy, I think.
Yeah, both these teams being very careful on their rotations now, making sure to not get caught in any bushes, making sure to check bushes. And then we have that stealth coming out to save the Tassadar. Once again, Drill is dropped by Tychus. That's going to be shredded down right away by Brawler's Life.
Silver's backing up, going to clear the camp top. Brawler's Life recognizes this. Let's see what they can do. It looks like they're going to rotate and get the
This is going to be a 30-minute dragon game here.
Oh, man. This dragon is going to mess things up. Brawler's Life opting to take out that mid fort. But they are getting rotated on right now. JP is in their back line. Slide is down, though, and the wall comes out. JP's bolting into their back line, gets the 4-man mosh. Drunk Dwarf is arriving, but just a hair too late now. Massive spear coming out by Sweet Buns. This is going to be a 4-0, possibly a 5-0. Yrel just messing with them, and it looks like Ripers rotating as 5. They're going to end bottom lane. There's nothing the Drunk Dwarf can do to stop this.
That was insane. They had the black hole come out and everything, but it didn't shove the ETC back enough to save them from that mosh.
Yeah, I was gonna say before, the black hole hit the Mosh in the previous team fight. And I think it might have even been an accident because he was casting it, and ETC kind of bolted into him as the animation started. But that time, the black hole did not hit the ETC, and he got a massive mosh pit off there, and it was a game-winning mosh pit.
We knew it was going to end in one big team fight and the other team rushing core, and there you go. It took a little while for them to dance around it, but ultimately Team Riper is taking game number 1 of this best of 3 series. Let's take a look at this match summary really quickly. Any thoughts here, Coffee?
Just, the amount of damage that Nenial was able to do. 132k hero damage is substantial, to say nothing of the 10 killing blows. Orfeo had a dominant performance in this game, and it just seemed like the longer these team fights went, the more Nenial was just allowed to pop off and clean things up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it definitely showed. It made a big impact here.
Yeah, and let's keep in mind that part of the reason that they were able to do that was because they had an amazing Ana on their team. The nano boosts were coming out on point, as well as those heals. There was a lot of times where members of Team Ripers, one more auto attack and they would have gone down, but Ana was around to save them and keep them up in these fights.
Yep, and Ana was she has 19 assists. So in addition to just doing massive healing, 126k healing, she was involved in 19 of her team's kills, 19 of the 22 kills. Kind of
2
nuts
kills
to think
herself,
about.
so 21 of the 22
Oh,
kills.
there you go. Wow. Well, there you go. Now that's a support player.
Let's pop over here and look at their talents. Anything you're kind of interested in? I was surprised to see Starfall from the Tyrande, but I'm not a Tyrande player at all.
I was gonna say I don't play a lot of Tyrande, and honestly, in the games that I'm privy to, and I witnessed, I don't see a lot of Tyrande. I know she's super strong right now, but I don't know many players that are skilled enough to play her, so I don't know if the Starfall was the right call here or not. I definitely really liked how Black Hole ended up working for Death by Maze. I think it was critical in them securing kills, but also it kind of provides survivability, right? Like for a hero like Tassadar that really can just get annihilated, it really did seem like it gave him extra control in these team fights.
Yeah, it was definitely a good disengage tool, especially since I think it's the right pickup here too, since they don't have a true tank. Imperius is really his only peel is that stun, and that's their engage. That's what they're looking to try and start the team fight off with and getting a pick that way. So once that's out there and down, there's not really much that the team provides except for maybe Urel, if she's there as well, can do a little bit of peeling for a team, but the Black Hole really gives them an extra tool for a disengage, as well as providing them another tool to try and secure those kills, especially in those choke points.
Yeah, it really worked out for them.
The only other thing we talked about last rights, which I wasn't surprised to see him pick up because I was expecting him to 1v1, but you were right. We didn't really see a lot of value grab from it. I think at the end of the game, he only had a few stacks on it, or if he did finish it, it was like way into the late game, like way past 20. He didn't even have a single stack on it when he hit 20.
Yeah, it really, what's the other ultimate? Is it Tormented Souls or?
Yeah.
Tormented Soul. I really think that maybe this is just my naivete, but I think that a nano boosted Tormented Souls, even if it's not super effective, it forces the enemy team to have to deal with it. And while they're dealing with that, he had, you'd have ETC doing God knows what, or Tychus just shredding somebody, while they're just trying to control the nano boosted Malthael. I would have liked to have seen that, but it's hard to say how that would have worked. And the other thing I don't think necessarily worked out super well was the laser drill. Just the coordination of Brawl's life to shred that laser drill almost instantly didn't seem to allow it to make a huge impact. But on the other hand, if Tychus would have gone the robot, he can't be doing that constant percent damage. There's not that threat of just that, massive damage he's doing. So I don't know. It's a toss up.
Yeah, no, you're right. There was a few times that we saw laser dropped and just killed almost immediately. But there was just as many times where laser was sitting there and they couldn't find the focus to drop that down because there was just so much stuff happening in the team fight. And especially since a lot of these fights were happening in those choke points and like the looking to set up those team fights in the like the little Dorito rotation or on those siege giants, it was kind of a nice like, okay, we got everyone stuck in here. The laser's going to actually do quite a bit of damage. All right, the second lobby is up here. Let me update my little tool here, and we'll show you guys what's going on for game number 2. We are going to Infernal Shrines, and it looks like this map picked by Team Ripers. So Brawl is Life opting to go with first pick after their loss in game number 1. So let's just take a look. I'll give you guys a rundown of how we got here. Game number 1 we just saw was played on Dragonshire, map picked by Team Ripers, and the win also grabbed there for them. If you're curious about those map bans, Battlefield of Eternity and Hanamura banned out by Brawl is Life, and we have Towers of Doom and Cursed Hollow taken away by Team Ripers. Game number 2, Brawl is Life is opting to hold on to first pick, giving map pick over once again to Team Ripers. This time we are going to Infernal Shrines. D Nasty in chat saying with all that CC, Tormented Souls would have had a tough time.
Yeah, and that's kind of, you know, that's 100% true. I think just the point I'm trying to make is if they're putting all their CC into a Malthael, which, I mean, they sort of did that anyway, and it didn't seem like he was able to accomplish too much back there, maybe it would have freed up some space or some leeway for the other members of his team to have a greater impact. But
you know,
I don't know.
I mean, sure, there was a decent amount of CC from Brawl is Life, but a lot of it was all skill shots that Malthael can pretty easily avoid, especially with his W. You just flip onto the other side of people. You have to kind of predict when he's going to do that. Like, their CC was a Q from Imperius, which Malthael can dodge, as well as a Tyrande stun, which Malthael can dodge. The other CC that they had would have been on the Yrel, but a lot of the times we saw in these fights, Yrel was kind of 1v4ing in the back line while the rest of the team dealt with Malthael, so she wasn't necessarily always there to help deal with that. So there was CC, but I don't know how effective. I mean, either way, it doesn't really change how you're going to play Malthael with the ult that you pick. I don't know.
I mean, the other thing is that, and you guys may know way better than me, but the other thing is that it's Malthael was sort of played that way anyway.
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm
Tormented
saying.
Souls Malthael to me, yeah. So, and Silver, don't get me wrong, Silver had a huge impact in that game. Constant disruption, the threat of Silver just causing chaos was, you know, always present, and it ended up working out for them in the long run. So, but I like Tormented Souls. I think it's exciting.
See, I usually go last rights.
Yeah, I know.
All right. What's the first ban going to be? Do you think they're going to target ban anything? Maybe get rid of... Yep, they are.
Yeah. Major impact in that game.
Ana being banned out here by Brawl is Life. We just saw Team Ripers rock a mean Ana in game number 1. So, do you think banning the Ana is enough to let them take Orphea? Or do they also need to maybe ban Orphea?
I don't think they ban Orphea, really. I mean, Orphea was nano boosted a lot of the time in those big team fights. I don't know if I would ban Orphea here. The Ana was just super good at enabling the team composition that they were trying to do. We're gonna ban the Diablo.
We saw the Diablo ban in game number 1, but they waited until the second round of bans to get rid of it. This time they're opting to get rid of it in the first round of bans, which is kind of surprising because Team Ripers didn't take it when it was up to them last game. And I feel like Infernal Shrines, or I should say Dragonshire, may be a little bit better for Diablo than Infernal Shrines, but
They're really nervous about this Hanzo. Who is? Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I want to go through and like find out who the Hanzo player is right now, but they do not want to deal with it.
I play to win.
And Drunkdorf is going to pick up the Diva. I like it.
I think Drunkdorf was one of the players that came and played in the in-houses that me and Slexia ran a while back.
I was gonna say that's one of the names. I think Drunkdorf and Silver.
There's a few in here.
Yeah, I recognize some of these players.
Tyke is picked up once again by Addis here. Silver going for the Leoric.
We are gonna get the cool Dan.
If they leave the Orphea up now, though, you have your dirty bathtub combo ready to go.
That's true. That is true.
What's your thoughts on Gul'dan? How are you feeling about him these days?
So, I think Gul'dan is all about Horrify. I mean, I might be wrong in that, but it just, the games that I've watched, if Gul'dan is able to land some meaningful Horrifies, his team wins. I mean, he's a solid mage. I mean, he's a mage with great sustain, right? He's, I mean, he's kind of like the Rainer of mages. I don't know. So it's
You know what's interesting here is Team Riper's banning out another tank. Both teams here haven't locked in tanks, and they're starting a little bit of tank choke here. We already see Diablo banned out, now the Garrosh. Curious to see what the ban is going to be. I'm expecting a healer. Oh.
Ooh. Interesting.
Huh.
Oh. Oh my. And they've already grabbed a Tychus and a Leoric.
Yeah.
So Brawl is Life running out of things to really counter this Cho'Gall at this point. Malthael is up. I don't know. Karazim is up, but I don't think you run a Karazim with a Stukov, really. This is interesting.
No, okay, yeah. Greymane.
Yeah, Greymane.
They're still sticking with that Imperious main tank, though, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess he has percent damage as well, so.
Does have percent damage as well. I mean, especially there is an Imperious build. I mean, essentially you go the level 1 talent with extra percent damage, and by level 20, if you've gone like the attack speed talents, he's basically just like shredding with percent damage. I mean, he can take down a tank super fast, but I don't think that Ripers is going to let this game go that long. I think what they're trying to do here is really kind of mess them up and do it fast, but we'll see how it works. Obviously, Greymane probably going to go the Cursed Bullet. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting draft, and I think, you know, Sweet Buns definitely able to make some really meaningful engages in game 1 and make things happen. And there were a lot of times where the you know, main tank Imperious worked for them. At this time, whatever he engages on will have a Stukov silence under it, so we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, I think that Brawler's Life, the last couple pickups here definitely can counter the Cho'Gall. So they didn't waste those picks. You know, sometimes you see Cho'Gall locked in there, and the remaining picks on the side of the opposing team, they don't have the right heroes in their pool to really do anything against the Cho'Gall. But Greymane Imperious can do something. I just hope that the Imperious tank works out for them this time. I would love to see it go to a game 3. And, you know, it's always, I feel like it's such a toss-up. Sometimes the Imperious tank can be absolutely dominant in carry games, and then other times it feels like it's just not working.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is about Imperious tank, and really just a lot of these kind of blow-up comps, like the comp they tried before with the Tyrande, is that Gladiator's Medallion really saves people against comps like that, kind of a lot. That's a problem I run into.
Let's introduce these teams on the left-hand side. We have Brawl is Life with Death Strikes on the Greymane, Vivanshi on Stukov, Drunkdorf playing the D.Va, Sweet Buns on the Imperious, and Death by Maze playing Gul'dan.
And on the side of Team Ripers, XXJP is on the Cho. Ades is going to be on the Tychus again. LF Niniel is going to be on the Gaul. Silver playing the Leoric, and Hope on the Ariel. Literally, Hope is on Ariel. Love
How
to see
fitting.
It.
What are you expecting for alts in this game? Specifically, I'm curious what you think Leo and the Ariel are going to be picking up here.
I think Ariel will probably go Resurrect. I mean, it's so good with Cho'Gall. I mean, big value, right? Cho'Gall being the target here, going to shove himself out though. And then Leoric, I imagine, will go and tomb.
All right, we're already seeing these teams set up that rotation between mid and bottom, getting that soak. We're going to see those camps spawn in just a couple seconds here.
Yeah, I mean, just because Ariel's other ult sort of, I know it's, you know, game-changing saving, but it also sets up Cho'Gall for all of the bursts that, you know, Brawl's Life can do. I mean, coming out of the other ultimate, you get cursed bulleted, you get speared. Could be kind of rough. So.
And that's a camp getting picked up by Brawler's Life in the mid. They have that siege camp there, so I imagine they're going to try... Here's what's happening here. They got that siege camp, so now they can opt to grab this bottom camp, where Team Ripers have to decide whether they want to miss some soak mid or potentially top, because Leo is rotating down now to catch the soak mid for them, and give up that bottom camp, or, you know, do their camp, contest bottom. It's a tough call, so this is why getting those camps out on this map as fast as possible is important.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know the matchup of Leo versus D.Va too well, but they kind of match each other pretty well, and they just don't. I feel like they don't fight each other, right? They just kind of clear the wave, ignore that each other exists, and they wait to have exciting moments later in the game.
Look at how much pressure Brawler's Life already has in these lanes here. Mid lane pushed up to the wall, bottom lane pushed up to the wall, starting to get a little bit of damage here. Already taking down one tower. Cho'Gall going in for the engage here, trying to get some damage and just push them off of this bottom fort while Gul'dan has rotated away. We do have Gul'dan starting up the camp in the top lane here. That objective up in 30 seconds, so they want this camp pushing during objective, trying to get some value here. But he's running out of mana and health here. Needs to be a little careful. He's trying not to let it leash, though, eh?
Yeah, if it leashes and they all get back to 100% health, that would be really tilting. But yeah, I mean, you know, Brawl's Life doing a really good job of using their advantage early on, using their immense, you know, siege potential and utilizing that. I think on the other side of Team Ripers, they just need to make it to probably level 16, where Cho'Gall really starts to come online. But we'll see how this plays out here, as we do have the first objective up, and Brawl's Life already has a 17 lead on that. The spear being missed by Sweet Buns. Gonna have to back out here, though.
Yeah, Leo is opting to stay top right now and clean this up, which means that in a moment here, when D.Va rotates down, it's going to be a 5v4 in favor of Brawl's Life. They do have that mech explosion up as well to zone off and try and finish this objective if they need to. Drunk Dwarf hanging on to that, but they're currently at 35 skeletal defenders and climbing here. And I think Drunk Dwarf's just going to hold off using that mech explosion. He doesn't really need to pop it here. He can keep it and clean up top maybe.
Yeah, they already had such a substantial lead by the time that Team Ripers made it to the objective.
And here's the thing, when you're playing into a Cho'Gall comp, you want that lead. Like, you know, once level 16 hits, the game is going to get infinitely harder. So if you can manage to get that XP advantage and climb and get 16s first and just keep them beat down a little bit on the Cho'Gall, that's the way you need to play it.
Right.
I'm surprised.
This Punisher doing work down here. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't see the Imperious looking to try and capitalize off those Punisher jumps with a stun follow-up there. I think they could have secured kills there. Yeah. We just saw the Ariel and Cho'Gall getting leaped on by the Punisher, and their health dropped quite low.
Well, it didn't look like they were taking down it didn't look like they were really taking down the side walls like I normally see people do with a frozen Punisher. They were kind of just going for structures.
D.Va back down here. They're going to make a play for the siege camp of Team Ripers here in the mid. All members are around, though, if they do try to contest this.
Yeah. Ooh. Cho'Gall queuing into the entire enemy team. He is going to make it out, but just barely there.
Grimy is just shredding him, even just with the auto attacks. Doesn't even have that cursed bullet up yet.
Drunk Dwarf always threatening now with this bomb active online.
Addis looks like he's in a little bit of trouble here, and that is going to be
oh,
a DC, but also a kill. right, so we did have the Leoric DC here, so we're waiting for him to get back in. It's funny, Slexy was telling me one day, most games go off without a pause, but Heroic Division games always seem to need to use their pauses.
That's funny. I mean, you know, you can't get good internet these days. Unfortunate.
No. You're so right, though. Even me, I live in the Bay Area, where it's like Silicon Valley and all the tech companies, and my internet is trash. What is up with that?
I was going to say, I live 10 minutes north of downtown Los Angeles, and you can't get Fios or fiber anywhere here. It's so
no,
annoying.
I can't get fiber where I am. It's kind of ridiculous. It looks like both teams are ready here, so if you want to do a countdown, and I will unpause, and we can get back into this game.
Here we go. Okay.
They're sieging up this mid fort here, looking to get that level 10. Stun coming out by Sweet Buns onto Team Ripers, but no follow-up damage. He's starting to take those tower shots. I'm going to need to back out here. And there we go. Level 10's hit now. Mid fort taken down by Brawl's Life. Let's see what they grab here. It is going to be a massive shove being grabbed by the Stukov. Imperious sticking with that angelic armaments. Interestingly enough, Reign of Destruction, not Horrify, being grabbed by Gul'dan. I'm surprised about that one. And we have Cursed Bullet coming out from the Greymane and Micro Missiles from the Diva.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they just feel like with the way this game is going, Horrify is not necessary. Why not go for a little extra damage? I don't know.
Yeah, RNG it up.
Yeah, why not? I know that Horrify was buffed recently, or not Horrify, but Reign of Destruction was buffed recently. I don't know the exact details.
Quite a bit ago.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I know it does more damage and it's a little less RNG based, but still, it's so frustrating, right, to watch it do nothing on occasion. So.
Yeah, I am not a fan of adding RNG to an ultimate personally. It feels a little too much like Hearthstone.
Oh, the Entomb is used in mid lane. It doesn't land. That's an empty bathroom stall right there. Oh.
That big silence coming out from Stukov. That's going to allow them to secure some kills here. We're going to see 4 members down on the side of Team Ripers.
Uh-oh. We got a DC on Hope now. Jeez.
Uh-oh. This time, Ariel disconnecting, so we're waiting for Hope to get back in the game.
I mean, the PP is being tossed around left and right. Does PP mean please pause?
Yes.
Okay. I thought
that's what I'm guessing.
I thought it meant something
but I know
else
there was jokes in chat there about it.
Never seen so much PP.
One frame per second. Oh no.
No, that's
all right.
Ready? That's manageable. You can do it.
Ready coming out from Team Ripers. I just want to ready from. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Welcome back,
all right.
A hero has left the battle.
All right.
I mean, they had to take that fight there. I mean, the shrine was up. They were on even talent tiers, but it just sucked. I think Silver used Entomb a little too early. It didn't land, and then that massive Stukov silence on the point. Silver taking a lot of damage here. Gonna fall, and now Brawl's Life has level 13 talents.
Yeah, but a 2-for-1. They lost their Stukov there. He took tower aggro for a bit too long there and did get picked off. And we have those level 10s online now for Team Ripers. So the Resurrection coming out onto the Tychus here.
Yeah, and now Kogal is on the chase. So the shrine is still anyone's game at this point.
It was easy to forget there that objective was still up during all the pauses and the invade onto the camp. But there's the
Entomb
Entomb.
does land.
Cho'Gall
so low, gonna have to back out here by the looks of it. But Diva Bomb is used. It's going off there on the chase, trying to chase Cho'Gall down. Cho'Gall just barely gonna make it out by the looks of things. Hope just giving him everything she's got. Cho'Gall gonna fall. Wow, that was such a back and forth, but ultimately I think Brawl's Life with the 13 talent here pulled away there. Cho'Gall was doing a lot of work, and Drunk Dwarf chasing Tychus down right in front of his keep. What a savage.
Yeah, and keep in mind here that Ariel used that resurrection a few seconds before this fight on the Tychus, meaning she can't pop it on the Cho'Gall now. They're just kind of hanging back and waiting.
Man.
Cho'Gall is back up now. Bruiser Camp's stolen by Brawl's Life here in this objective. Still up. 2 minions left to pick up, but it looks like they're going to make a play to get these camps out and get some more lane pressure before they finish off the objective.
Yeah, Cho'Gall really needs these later talents, I think, to make things happen. Otherwise, they're just going to have to pray and try to make things happen under their forts.
Well, they need to be careful, though. It's not going to take long for Cho'Gall to finish off the objective. So here comes Drunk Dwarf to finish it off with Sweet Buns. They're going to grab that Punisher, and meanwhile, Gul'dan taking the bottom camp and the siege camps in the mid both secured as well on the side of Brawl's Life. So a lot of lane pressure going into this next objective. Diva also securing top fort here.
There's a really awesome Entomb onto the Gul'dan. They just couldn't get the damage onto Gul'dan there to make things happen.
Yeah, the level lead here is just huge for Brawl's Life. There is a chance that they're just going to make a core call here. Big leap coming out from the Punisher, connecting onto Ariel. She does pop that Gladiator's medallion, but Imperious able to get the kill there. And they are trying to go for core here. Down goes the Leorc as well. Massive shove connecting onto the Cho'Gall. Ariel does res herself here, but is it going to be enough to protect this core? I feel like probably not. It's quickly falling. 25% left on the core now, and this is going to be game number 2 going over to the side of Brawl's Life, meaning we get a game 3 tonight.
Yeah, and a convincing game too from Brawl's Life, ending that game with authority there. I'm excited for this game 3.
We do have some Team Ripers fans in chat tonight, though, so I'm sure that they are ready to see game 3. But look at the difference in this game. What a clean game from the side of Brawl's Life. Only 1 death.
Yeah, only 1 death, and you know, I think that when they saw the Cho'Gall pick and they knew exactly what they needed to do to counter that and make that work for themselves. So it seems like this is something that they've practiced against. It was well executed. And I think they wanted it almost. They were excited to see it. So
sorry, my dog's throwing up.
oh no.
Entertain chat for a second. I'm just gonna go make sure she's okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
well, anyone know any good jokes? No. Let's see. Well, I feel like I know some. I think of like good ones. Okay. Here we go. Here's one.
All right.
I was gonna tell a joke real
Oh,
fast.
perfect. Go ahead. I can keep dealing with my dog.
No, the time has passed. I can't. It's done. It's not right. Is it right? Should do it, right?
All right. Sorry about that. She seems fine. We'll get back into this. Lost my momentum here on talking about the game. But 14-1 in kills for Brawl's Life here. So definitely a little bit different vibe coming out in this game.
All right, I'm gonna tell the joke. Jazzy, my wife the other day accused me of being immature. You believe that?
Why?
I told her to get the hell out of my fort. Okay. We're done. Back to the game.
Lobby is set up if you want to get on in here, Coffee. It does look like we are going to Brax's holdout to end the night off. This is another map you don't really see too frequently picked up by teams here. It does look like it's actually Brawl is Life picking this map this time around, meaning that Team Ripers have opted to go with first pick after losing game number 2. What's your thoughts on Braxis, Coffee?
Seems to be, I don't know why I think this map more than other maps always seems super dependent on the off lane. I feel like we have a good idea of who's going to win the map just based on how the off lane is going early on. And that's annoying sometimes, but that's how it seems to me. But obviously strong wave clear, really important. See things like Ragnaros and Imperius on this map where we don't really see them other maps sometimes, but I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, this map, like Dragonshire, you get to see a nice matchup in the off lane because it's not a lane, again, that you can just soak and win that way. You actually have to win the 1v1 to secure that top objective, or the top point for the objective, I should say. So I'm excited to see what happens here. I'm interested to see if Brawl is Life is going to stick with this main tank Imperius comp that they keep going back to tonight. It played out well for them in game number 2, but game number 1 was a little bit of a struggle bus for them. It did go, the game went quite a long time, and it really could have been anyone's game at the end of it there, but they always seem to just be, you know, slightly at a disadvantage, whether it be in structures or XP.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do it here. In fact, I don't think they were going to do it in the second game. They just knew that they needed it, right, against the Cho'Gall. I think they were going to go with more of a like a traditional tank in the sense that with heals and C and things like that. So, but yeah, we'll see what they do here.
Yeah, I let them know in chat that we're ready, and it looks like the readies are out from both the teams here. So we're just waiting for the game to be started by the host. But I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
They both kind of have played some things that tend to do well on this map. We just saw Gul'dan played in the last game, so that might be another pickup for Brawl is Life going into this game as well.
Yeah, Gul'dan super strong. Wave clear obviously can clear the Zerglings pretty quickly, so wouldn't be surprised if we saw some of that. Kael'thas pretty good here. Yeah, even Orphea not terrible here, so see.
And Diva as well has been played by Brawl is Life.
Yeah, that was a strong Diva. I feel like we only saw one, I think, bomb come out really just because they didn't need it.
Yeah.
Like the entire game. But
no, you're right. Every time
Diva
kind of showed up to the fight and had it up, they didn't even have to force it out at all. And there's also the Urel as well, who can do fairly decent in the off lane here. So there's a couple of options that Drunk Dwarf does play that very annoying to deal with in the off lane.
Oh, interesting. So Team Ripers rather does not want to see the Imperius. They're done with it. They're tired of the tank Imperius, so they're gonna ban that out first.
Well, I guess that answers the question on whether Brawl is Life is going to stick with the main tank Imperius comp.
There you go. And Brawl's Life does not want to see that Ana again, so that's also going to be banned this game.
Yeah, and I think that worked pretty well for them in game number 2, but mind you, they didn't really go with a traditional comp on the side of Team Ripers. I wonder if Addis is going to pick up the Tychus again. We've seen Addis play Tychus in both these games as well.
I think this is the second time we've seen the Garrosh ban.
Garrosh has actually been banned every single game by Team Ripers. It's just they've done it as a third ban the last 2 games. This time they're going with they're banning him in the first phase of bans. That means Gaslo's up, because that's what they were prioritizing before, as well as the Hanzo.
Ban the Orpheus, so Gaslo is definitely
even
up
Sweet
here.
Buns in chat is saying, "Here comes the Hanzo."
Uh-oh.
Well,
Gaz is going to get picked up first by Silver, and I'm excited to see some Gaz action here. Death by May is going to follow that up with a Gul'dan, and we are going to see the Rexar on Braxis. Love to see it.
all right. Now, Gazlo, are we going to see him in the off lane facing off against Rexar?
I think so, and I was just about to ask you, Jazzy, like, what does that matchup look like these days? I know Gaz came out, is reworked, kind of rough. He got some buffs, then he became too strong. Now we had a little, like, another round, like a round of nerfs.
Teeny tiny nerfs, yeah.
Yeah. So where does he stand now?
You know, it's hard to say because I haven't really played at all this season. Just spectated, and this isn't a matchup that I have had the opportunity to spectate either, so I can't really speak to how this is going to turn out. I mean, here's always the thing with Rexar.
Matchup though, like, I don't think we're going to see this often.
The thing with playing Rexar is you can send Misha to the point to secure the point, and now your other offlaner has to choose between whether to give up the point or to miss soak, because meanwhile you leave Rexar soaking the lane and he can push it forward to the wall, to your wall, and you still have Misha on the point. So if you can manage to clear out those turrets, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see this matchup because I'm curious myself. I can't say one way or another who's gonna win it.
Yeah,
Gazlos can be really slippery and a little cheeky in their plays, so.
Yeah, and I feel like Gaz, these days just has so much sustainability too with the laser healing them. This is gonna be really interesting to watch. I think in the offlane, we'll have to keep checking it out. So we are gonna see JP on his ETC again, and Niniel is gonna grab Cassia.
Yeah, Cassia was a ban we saw come out earlier from the side of Brawl is Life, so I'm interested to see how this Cassia plays out for Team Ripers, because obviously Brawl is Life thought it was good enough that they needed to ban it earlier in the series, and now they've let it through. So how dominant is this Cassia player going to be?
Yeah, see how that goes. Brawl is Life has one last pick. Let's see what they do to round this out. Some sort of sustain auto attacker, I imagine. Maybe the Gray Mane again. Go with the Rainer. Okay. And I like that. I think in game one, we saw Death Strikes able to use the penetrating round on the ETC just when he was about to slide, and then really messed up JP's engages. Probably going to look to do something similar here. But we are going into game number 3. Let's go.
Yeah, I just realized I haven't updated the score, so I apologize, but it is 1-1. It's just been sitting 0-1 still for a while. But there you go. It's 1-1. And I will be right back because the cat is getting into something now.
Oh, no.
What a night.
What a night. What a night. Okay. I'll do another joke then. Let's see. Well, this is something, I don't tell people often, but I threw a boomerang a few years ago, and to this day, I live in constant fear. There you go. And we're about to begin. Here we are. Start with Team Ripers, and hopefully Jazzy will come back soon.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Go ahead, Team Ripers.
Team Ripers. On the right-hand side, we have JP playing the ETC again. LF Niniel on the Cassia. Ades on the Kael'thas this time. Hope playing Tyrande. And Silver on Gazlo.
And on the side of Brawl is Life, we have Death Strikes on that Rainer, Sweet Buns playing the Joanna, Death by Maze on the Gul'dan, Vivanci on the Deckard, and Rexar being played by Drunk Dwarf.
Right. I just feel like I keep looking up to the top lane because I want
Oh,
to see
I'm
what
looking
that
at the
looks
top
like.
lane right now.
Okay.
There's a bit happening down here in the bottom lane, though, so maybe we'll just pop back down here. We have that Deckard root coming out for a second to catch a couple members of Team Ripers. Their health bars looking like they're missing a bit there, but they're going to use those taps up already.
If Deckard Cain lines them up like that every time, and Gul'dan's able to get a corruption off that strong, that does not spell well for Team Ripers.
I come back in chat saying save us from the jokes.
Oh my gosh. They were great. What are you talking about?
Condemn coming out from the Joanna there, connecting onto the Tyrande and ETC, but no kills yet in this game. I want to keep going top, but there's so much happening bottom. Power slide going out onto Joanna. She's going to pop that Iron Skin, go in for the Condemn, looking for that kill onto the ETC, and they do find it there. Deckard healing up the Gul'dan to keep him alive here, and that's first blood over in favor of Brawl is Life. Let's take a look in top lane now that things have cooled off in the bottom for now. See how this plays out.
Yeah. I mean, it does look like Gazlow's kind of winning this. I mean, the other thing you got to remember about Gazlow is he has no mana. Right? Like, he just drops scrap.
Bear's just getting shredded here, staying alive for the moment, but one auto attack off of falling there. For now, Drunk Dwarf capped that, but it's going to go back over to Silver, and now back in the bottom lane. ETC here for the fight once again. Brawl is Life still holding on to that objective, and also went ahead and capped their siege camp while ETC was down.
Looks like Gaz winning top lane, by the way. Took out the Misha now, has the lane pushed up pretty far. Misha's back up, though.
Yeah, we are going to see him pop his Gladiator's Medallion here, which is going to help Drunk Dwarf secure a kill here, as they're not going to be able to avoid a stun or slows coming out from Rexar. This is going to be the objective capped for the side of Brawl is Life, starting to get some channel here, currently sitting at about 40% and climbing.
Yeah. Ooh.
We do have
top lane. JP just barely doesn't hit the slide there. Massive penetrating round by Death Strikes, and now they're pushing up against this right front wall.
And we do have Deckard talenting into rubies here. That's another talent that we've kind of seen some nerfs, buffs to other talents there. So it's always a toss-up of whether you're going to see rubies. And we have that rotation coming out from Cassia to get that pick onto Rexar in the top lane, where the Zerg wave is spawning in for Brawl is Life.
Yeah, Cassia says, we're going to give him the Zerg wave anyway. I want this kill. And she gets it. Rexar.
Can we talk about Gul'dan's build for a second?
What do we got here?
Are you seeing this?
Oh. Drain life build?
Yeah.
Full drain life build.
Full drain life build on Braxis Holdout. Which is
the only
really...
time I've seen this these days is when Gul'dan gets stuck in the off lane, honestly.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised to see it as well. It's a little weird, especially considering he's supposed to be the decent wave clear for these Zerg waves. But I guess maybe he's going to have some really, really good survivability, which he might need just about now, because this is an engage coming out from Team Ripers as Brawl is Life tries to go for this bruiser camp, and they're looking pretty low here. ETC, though, getting punished for that engage, and now Tyrande being stunned by Misha. It looks like that Drain Life able to help secure a kill there, and ETC falling as well.
Yeah, we'll see how the Drain Life plays out. I was commenting already, though, how Corruption, this Gul'dan is aiming the Corruption perfectly, getting so much value from Corruption. But to see the Drain Life build now, we're going to see how that works for them. So far, it seems to be working pretty well.
Just a couple other things to know. ETC did talent into Prog Rock, so he's looking to get those globes, finish out that quest. And Cassia opting to go with Thunderstroke at level 1, so she is stacking her Q.
Oh, wow. ETC sliding Gul'dan, and then an owl from across the map from Hope secures the kill on the Gul'dan. That was... is Hope wall hacking or some kind of aimbot going on with this owl? That was nuts.
All right, a little bit of pressure in the bottom lane now by Team Ripers. They're still down that level 7 talent here, but they're about to hit it here in a moment. Power slide going out onto the Joanna here. Fen coming from the Cassia, but she's going right in there for the Condemn to try and push them off of this bottom wall. Deckard has her already healed back up.
I think one of the reasons Silver is struggling a little bit in the top lane is because there's a level 1 talent on Gazlo now that basically gives a shit ton of scrap. And I think she's sort of running out of scrap a little bit.
All right, hang on. We are just seeing the invade onto this siege camp by Team Ripers. Power slide comes out from the ETC, but not quite enough confidence to go in and actually contest that camp. They are just going to retreat off of that and let Brawl his life cap it. And now there's a fight.
Oh.
Well, I missed that rotation.
Cassia also going to fall in the top lane. Gul'dan making the rotation, taking out not only Gazlo, but also Cassia. And suddenly, Brawler's life gets closer and closer to his level 10 talents, and they're going to have what appears to be another Zerg wave here.
Yeah, it looked like one member from both teams rotating to try and get a pick on the solo lane, which put it into a 2v2 and played out in favor of Brawler's life here, meaning they are already sitting at almost 70% Zerg wave, channeled and climbing. It doesn't look like Team Riper is in any position to try and cap either of these points, so this is going to be another full Zerg wave going over to Brawler's life.
Yeah.
They were able to get this fort too before the wave comes out.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for Team Ripers right now. Johanna coming in, sweet buns, just barely gets knocked back by the ETC. Wow, that was... Yeah, if ETC didn't knock back there, there would have been easily 2 kills on the side of Brawler's life right there.
Here's level 10's hit for Brawler's life. We are going to see Stay a While and Listen coming out from the Deckard. Blessed Shield from Joanna. I don't want to miss something in the fight here, so let's just see how this plays out for a moment. And we can go over the rest of the talents here.
Blessed Shield is going to be used, and that's a dead ETC. Kel'Thas also taking a lot of damage. Cassia looking a little low as well, but that's going to be a keep at 7 minutes.
Yeah, and there we go. That bottom keep secured. Gul'dan's sticking around a little long here. I'm a bit afraid for him. I mean, he does have that drain life build, so maybe he can just
He ain't scared.
Yeah.
He's so scared. Uh-oh. I think we have another PP.
Yeah, casters aren't allowed to pause the game, though.
Oh, he's back. Okay, no PP.
Look at that. He even manages to come back and get a kill onto Misha.
Huge.
All right, look at this. They're all positioned around to start this boss here. Sweet Buns in the bush, ready to kind of ward and keep an eye on what's going out. Rexar making the rotation down. We do have Sweet Buns being caught here. Now trying to 1v4. You have Pyro coming out from the Kael'Thas. That's going to connect onto Sweet Buns. Already used the Iron Skin, so whoo, big damage coming out. They are able to get that kill onto Joanna. But is there going to be a counter kill here? No, it looks like Deckard now in trouble here as the Cassia Valkyrie coming out to secure the kill. He is able to stay alive for now with the Stay a While and Listen, but we do see ETC and Kael'Thas go down, and it looks like somehow, even though Team Ripers gets the first pick in this team fight, Brawl is life, able to turn it around and secure this boss. Are they going to find this Gazlo?
Man, Stay a While and Gazlo just barely makes it out there. What the hell? I think Deckard hit a 4-man Stay a While and Listen right there and completely turned that team fight. Somehow managed to stay alive himself, right?
Yeah, absolutely insane. He has basically no mana, uses up all of his last bits of resources to stay alive and walk out the back. Power Slide going out to connect onto him now, though, and here's the Mosh immediately interrupted. He's looking like he's going to go down this time, though. Deckard does get picked off, but the members of Team Ripers looking a little low. Cassia is going to go down, as well as ETC and Tyrande getting picked off last here.
Yeah, the death timer's not so low at this point in the game. I mean, I know there's a keep down, right? But they all came back, and looks like Silver's barely gonna walk away here. And now Brawler's life postures to take the top keep as well.
Yeah, 3 members still down. They're coming up in a couple seconds here, but I have a feeling we are going to see this keep fall. We have that Rain of Destruction picked up by Gul'dan. We never did get through all of the ults there, but Rain of Destruction once again locked in by the Gul'dan by Brawl on the side of Brawl's Life. We also had to unleash the Boars as well as Hyperion being grabbed over there by Brawl's Life on the side of Team Riper's Mosh Pit. We saw that come out as well as the Valkyrie and the Pyro used in that fight over boss. Tyrande. Well, let's just see.
Wow.
I guess Gul'dan's like, I'll show you Drain Life build. You guys think it's cheese, but I'm here to win with it.
The Drain Life build 100% is working out for him. They're getting some really good value out of it. Huge stay while and listen. They're going for Cassie here. Cassie's going to fall. JP can't really do anything to save her. He's going to have to back off. But this lead that Brawl's Life is creating for themselves here just continues to grow larger and larger.
Yeah, still a while out until Team Ripers even catches that level 13. I'm curious to see if they're even going to have that opportunity, that little window to try and take a fight on equal talent tiers.
I was just going to say, what can Team Ripers do to get back in this game right now, Jazzy?
Well, that's exactly it. They need to hit level 13 and hope they do it before level 16s come online for the side of Brawl's Life. Look for that, engage while they can, and hopefully they win it. But it's a tough position to be in. Down 2 keeps. You have all of this siege pressure from camps, as well as now a Zerg wave.
And there's no keep to defend the Zerg wave. It looks like they could potentially have an opportunity to get 13 bottom lane, but is it going to be before the Zerg wave pushes up to their core? I don't really think so.
Yeah, and I don't even think it's going to be before level 16s are hit on the side of Brawl's Life. They're now walking in here. Like, if they do hit it, it's going to be almost at the same time as level 16s hit for Brawl's Life. So that window disappearing here. Valkyrie comes out, doesn't connect. ETC going in with a power slide. He does have that mosh. He does use it, but it's interrupted almost immediately, and he's just deleted by Brawl's Life. ETC down. Stay a while and listen coming out, connecting onto the Tyrande and Gazlo, and now they're going to go down here as well. 3 members down on the side of Team Riper's core call coming out with the Zerg wave, and it is falling fast, Coffee.
Jeez.
This is going to be game number 3 going over to Brawl's Life, who finished this series out 2-1.
My goodness. 2 back-to-back just dominant performances by Brawl's Life. Really, really strong showing.
Yeah. I mean, I was curious all night to see how Brawl's Life would play as a team when they weren't working around a main tank Imperious, and it just felt like, you know, they were using the main tank Imperious as a handicap for their team or something.
Yeah, no, Sweet Buns engaging on the Johanna was terrifying. The Blessed Shields were on point, set up all of the kills, and then some.
The Deckard.
They got a lead.
I gotta give it to Deckard this time. He had some beautiful stay a while and listens that really secured the win for his team, especially the one in the boss fight after getting Valkyrie into the enemy team. Totally set up the fight there and allowed them to turn it back around after losing their Joanna as a first target to go down in that fight. So
the tank being the first to drop is devastating in a team fight, and Bavanchi pretty much single-handedly turned it around. But not just, like, it was also the positioning of the stay a while. Like, he casually walked behind the entire team of Team Rikers and popped a 4-man stay a while, and it was an impressive move. It was awesome.
Yeah, the other thing that was really interesting to note is his Gul'dan build. I think we're going to have to ask some questions about that in the interview. For now, I'm just going to give the chat one more overview of what happened here tonight. Game number 1 was won by Team Ripers on Dragonshire. Game number 2, we went to an Infernal Shrines. The win picked up by Brawl's Life. And finally, the series closed out on Brax's Holdout. The win picked up there, again, by Brawl's Life, making it 2-1 series. We are going to hit up Brawl's Life for an interview here. So if you want to meet me over in the NGS Discord, we can look to interview them there.
Be over there.
All right. Okay, we're just waiting to hear back from Brawl's Life, hoping they come in for the interview. Vivanchi saying, sure, let's do this.
Is Avanchi doing the?
Which is great. That was the Deckard in last game that we were just praising.
Yeah.
Hey.
GG's, well played. How are you feeling after that win?
A little bit agitated that they took the first map for us, but then we came back.
Yeah, and you guys came back strong. Game number 2 and 3, very dominant. It felt like you were in control. We also have Sweet Bunch joining us. That was the tank we saw all night. Also playing Imperius and Joanna in the last game.
Hello.
GG's, well played. Very, very entertaining games. Let's talk a little bit about your drafts and bans. Going into both games, you were banning out the Diablo. Is that a target ban, or is that just a tank you guys don't want to play against? What's your thoughts there?
I feel like if I talked about this was straight up expose our team compositions and like what heroes we're comfortable with. Diablo is weak to Tychus and Greymane. Like those are heroes that are kind of mandatory when you take when you fight against Diablo. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And between our DPS, like the way our flexibility chart goes, Diablo is just kind of an inconvenient hero for us to play against in draft.
All right. Fair enough. Now, we had a Deathwing ban coming out in game number 2. Did you guys ban that because of the pickups on the Tychus and Leoric? Or you were afraid that they might be taking Deathwing?
You're absolutely dissecting us with these questions. We banned Deathwing because we were looking at Medivh. We wanted to get hot.
No joke. We're trying out Medivh. It's been working so far. And also, we had no % damage, so Deathwing was really scary to us.
Yeah, oh no, fair enough. And then they ended up taking the Cho'Gall anyway, but you still had the tools in your kit to counter it because you had the Imperius pickup and the Greymane, and it played out really well for your team, you guys. Go ahead.
Gul'dan was also a very pleasant surprise against Cho'Gall. Our entire team comp, Greymane, Gul'dan, in terms of DPS, we embodied everything you need to counter Cho'Gall. You need good PvE and good single target. Gul'dan suck build, good single target.
Yeah, can we talk a little bit about that? Gul'dan also going the Drain Life build on Braxis, which you don't typically see. Usually you want Gul'dan's going for some wave clear for the Zerg waves, but he goes full Drain Life build on Braxis as well. Can you also talk a little bit about Reign of Destruction?
Oh no!
Alright, I'll talk about Reign of Destruction. Okay, so we actually picked Gul'dan and Raynor. You could see that we did the double ult.
Yes.
There.
Yeah.
You could see that we were just ultra pushing with the Zerg wave. And once we got the first Zerg wave, we were able to take down, like, what, 2 forts? And then with the second, we took out the keeps, third, core. Just because those 2 ults combined allow us to do so much siege, it's ridiculous.
Well, that's, like, part of justifying it, of course, but, like, Gul'dan... Death by Maze Gul'dan style is unconventional, and we roll with it. There was subtle disagreement about it, but we're like, Death by Maze performs. None of us deny that. That's the whole story behind it. And as for Gul'dan, Raynor, and Braxis, that is just like, they pick Tyrande, we counter Tyrande with Poke. We win the 4-man automatically. Tyrande needs those auto attacks, and to not be zoned out, she needs damage trades. We don't give them damage trades with Poke.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Coffee, do you have some questions you want to throw out here?
Yeah. First of all, just congratulations on your win tonight, guys. An impressive showing, especially in game number 2 and 3.
That 4-man Mosh still gives me nightmares.
Such a
it was dead silent in comms when that happened. It's just like.
So I was going to ask you about comms. Talk to me a little bit about the comms in game number 1 and how you kind of stayed focused and bounced back after game number 1.
Well, personally, like, for me, it was just indignation. I was angry after that 4-man match. I'm like, how can that happen? Like, like, of course, there are so many factors into it, but I play it off like they're lucky, because that's just morale things. That's just, like, keeping my ego in.
It was a warm-up game.
It's a warm-up game. That sums up our comms pretty well. We're like... we brushed by it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And that's basically our team.
Like, even if there's genuine righteous indignation, if somebody, like, really messed up, there's always a my bad. We've been super cool about that in the game. And if it's impractical to talk about it, we're able to slapstick, like, we'll talk about this later, and everybody gets it. I love these guys.
How long have you guys been playing together?
Not that long.
Since Storm Div qualified.
Wow. Cool.
Okay.
Very cool.
I have another question on the topic of comms. That boss fight on Braxis. What were
Yeah.
comms like then?
Viv is going to die.
Specifically, what's Viv saying? I want to know.
Viv was like, no worries, I got this. And then I just did the stay a while and listen, just murder them all.
No, we were saying at the end of the game
Oh,
there we
that.
had to give MVP over to Vivanchi because that stay a while and listen on the boss fight and even the stay a while and listens that followed up afterwards during the game really kind of turned it around there because Joanna got picked off first, but somehow even with the Valkyrie onto your healer, you were able to just pop it off and turn that fight back around, and I think it was all thanks to that stay a while and listen. So very, very well played. Very entertaining fight to watch for sure.
I'd
Three
sum up
Buns
the
was making fun
scums.
of my Sapphire at the
Yeah.
beginning of the game.
Oh, I
But
totally
right
was.
right at the 40-second mark, I took out 2 medallions because of it. And then he just took it all back.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, this is telling. If a couple more of those, and
I
this
would
is not
sum
gonna
up
go well.
comms on that Braxis boss as incoherent screaming, and it was very lovely.
It was just
Nice.
chaos.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have any other questions or shall we get into some shout outs?
No, that's it for me. Just again, really, really well played, guys. GG's.
All right, let's do some shout outs then. I'll let you both shout out whoever you want. We'll start down with Vivanchi.
Oh, I get you. All right, I'll shout out
Sure.
to the casters, Team Ripers. You put up a valiant effort, and I'm going to shout out to Phoenix Rising Topaz for our final third battle of this weekend.
All right, Sweet Buns, shout outs.
Okay, I usually walk down the line. Thank you, Vivanchi, for not dying. Thank you for Death Strikes for outstanding positioning all around. Thank you for Death by Maze for your wonderful macro calls, in addition to your good focus targets, your constant input on team strategy throughout. Thank you for Drunk Dwarf for always rocking that off lane, always making a big show of your map awareness and your contribution to calls and everything else. And thank you for me for being loud.
All right. Well, once again, congrats on the win. Good luck in your last game that you have to fit in here before the weekend's up. I'm excited to see how you guys end up in this series.
Wait, are we able to get first seed up if we dominate this one, Sweet Buns?
Oh. Let's go for it either way.
I'm gonna go check it out real quick. I feel like so we got a domination yesterday. Spoilers, 2-1 here, which is 5 points. Right now we're tied with Archon. If they get a domination in their last game versus New Game Plus, and we get a domination, we'll tie for first seed.
Oh, so you're so right now, because the scores haven't updated, if people are looking on like NGS page, there's Brawl's Life is currently sitting in 5th place, but there's some matches that aren't recorded right now, so they're slowly climbing their way up into those like top 1, 2, 3 seeds, depending on how the next game plays out. Then,
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
well, best of luck, and I wish you best of luck in the playoffs as well.
Thank you.
GG's, guys. Bye bye.
GG's.
All right, let's get Coffee back up here to end the night off.
Hello, hello. Oh, here we go. All right.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect. I'm just getting OBS all set up so you're showing back on screen here. Oh, that was such a fun series.
It was. The reverse sweep coming out from Brawl's Life. That was exciting.
Yeah. The boss fight, especially that boss fight on Braxis, was just kind of made the night. But
Yeah.
a big thank you to you for coming to CoCast with me tonight. Why don't you give yourself a shout out? Let people know where they can find you, what you're up to these days.
Sure. Hello. If you guys don't know me, I'm Coffee, and I don't stream much anymore these days, but I'm yeah, sometimes I'm active on Twitter and occasionally Instagram, and you can follow me on at both those places at CoffeeClub_TV. And I'm playing in NGS playoffs right now in Div B on Team Uwu, and playing with some really fun people there. And you can check out my new Heroes Lounge team as well. That's Team NA. So you can just playing HOTS. That's what I'm doing. So
I did take a peek at that the other day. Kyle Ferguson is streaming your practice game, so I'm looking forward to seeing you guys play together.
we're figuring some things out, but just I don't know. People like that invite me to play HOTS with them. Like, how do you say no? Like, they're some of the best people like on the planet. So
Yeah, no. In terms of what's going on for me, I don't have any cast scheduled for next week yet because I think there's still a little bit. I haven't quite figured out how they're scheduling these playoff games going in forward. I know some divisions you need to apply, and there's nothing up on the calendar, so I'm still figuring out what exactly needs to be done on my end to get some casts in for next week. I know too that there's going to be a week off for casts coming up into Thanksgiving week as well. There's a break week in there, and so I'm expecting to take that week off as well from casting and streaming, just because Scott's work is giving them the entire week off too. So we basically have another week of holidays, even though I just had a
Enjoy
week
that
last
time.
week.
Yeah.
But so kind of weird. Another week off coming up, which I don't really ever do. But yeah. So
you enjoy that family time, and I gotta say, like, the first time in a long time, I feel like a little optimistic, and maybe there's actually stuff to celebrate right now. So I hope you enjoy that.
yeah. Oh, for sure. So follow me on Twitter. Join my Discord. I usually post my schedules there and tweet out if I'm going live or stuff that's going on with stream in general. You can go check those out, give them a follow, and I will try to update you guys on when I'm going to be streaming next, because right now I'm not quite sure, but I'm sometime next week. Definitely for sure Friday. I'll be back on Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. But other than that, I will be updating my schedule at some point whenever I figure out how casts are being scheduled for this next week. I appreciate everyone coming by, dropping by. Make sure you hit that follow button if you like casted Heroes of the Storm games, because that's pretty much that is all is going on my channel these days. So hit that follow button. I hope to see you next time. Until then, thanks for watching and thanks for hanging out. Have a good night, Coffee.
Have a good night.